before he was injured. I don't think we saw him after the third quarter. So you never know. Had he played out the game, maybe Anarchy are still in it. But look, there's a reason North Geelong are the ladder leaders, or it might have changed with percentage with Belmont's massive win over Corio. The number I'll give you guys is the number 42. We're 42 days into this season. And painfully, we have to wait another 42 days before North Geelong and Belmont play off in round 11. So they both got 5 more games before they play off. Whether or not both sides will be 10 and zip, we'll wait and see.
And sorry, Grubby just texted in and said we won by 51 points. So sorry, Grub, for my maths, but at least today you're still on the ball, and obviously by the sounds of it, out of the bar as well. So that's even better. He must be in the car. It'd be too cold for him to be up there anyway in that fancy new rooms they've got up the top there. So
yeah. Well, the text I got was "Watch your language," which is a bit rich given the history of this chair. But Grubby, I'm sure you did an incredible job up there, and I'm sure the listeners are begging for you to come back next week. But the votes, Arch, could you do me the biggest favour and go first, as you have the last 5 games in a row?
Usually Grubby's there to critique my votes and tell me that I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Don't worry about it, mate. You might still get a text.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll see. Now, so one vote I got Rory Desnoy. I thought he was very good today. He didn't have one quarter that I thought he dominated, but I thought for one of those players, every quarter he was there and he was winning the ball in and under, around the ground. His skills were good. So I thought he definitely deserved a vote. I actually changed my votes quite, because I saw a player I didn't think of, which is Bryce Brockenshire, who kept Luke Dalhouse very, very quiet for the majority of the first half. Third quarter, Luke Dalhouse came back pretty hard, but in the fourth quarter as well, I thought he got right back on top and played on him most of the day. So I thought he deserved 2 votes there. And then my best on ground I gave to Oscar Riccardi for his first game in Geelong District Football League. I thought he did really well, and obviously you can see he's a class above the GDFL. And I thought this is only the start. He's going to have to try and find the pace of the GDFL. We've seen players, such as Bosley before. It takes them a bit to get used to GDFL compared to GFL, and I think that Riccardi looked just a class above, and I think that he was the best on ground today.
Who did you give your 2 votes to?
Brockenshire.
Alex?
Oh, this is, I'm proud to say I did this with you guys for 3 seasons a decade ago, and I've filled in 4 games since I moved back to Vic. This is the hardest game I've ever had to give votes for, which is the ultimate compliment to Peter Riccardi and Keegan Carr and Jared Bryant, the whole North Geelong coaching staff. So I'm gonna ignore the text coming from Grubby after the text I just read after your votes, mate, because mine's going to be even harsher. But look, I'm going to give the 1 vote to Gerard, and he was just the shining light for Anarchy from start to finish. Commiserations to Charlie Farrell. I thought he was actually leading it until probably the 3rd quarter. I think they were just managing his body in his return match. When the game was there to be won, the forwards kicked truly, so I'm going to give Johnny Fazio 2 votes. And I guess you were inspired by my thoughts throughout the game, Arch. Brock's game on Luke Dalhouse, rather, was probably one of the best shutdown games I've seen in recent memory, so he gets my 3. Dale, let's see if you change the leaderboard.
Yeah, well, I've given 1 vote to Jake Long. I think I tried to look through their side and look for a player that gave a 3-quarter or even 4-quarter performance, but he changed the course of the game there for a short period of time. Gerard, for me, has always been a good footballer, but he's not doing things for me that I've seen him do before, where he's actually put teams in a winning position. So I know it's pretty hard out there for him to do that, but he's just not using the ball as well as I would have thought he would have. I thought Rory Desnoy today was... Everyone I've spoken to over a period of time have said this bloke can play footy. Today was the first time I've actually seen him play a really good game of football, consistent game of football. And my 3 votes I gave to Jackson Jewell. He just knocked up, giving ball through the middle of the ground, and was a great link player. There was a couple other players. Tommy Swennerson was good. Every time he touches the ball, he doesn't miss many targets. As I said, it was nice to see blokes like Charlie Farrell back on the ground, and I agree, once Oscar Riccardi gets to not to change the pace of this game, but gee, I tell you what, he's a smooth-moving bloke across the top of the ground, and I think what we saw today is only a glimpse. We spoke about Kamarik from
Kamarik,
so he's another player that I think as the time goes on, they are just going to shine in this league, and if he doesn't go into the squad with those couple of blokes coming out, I know there's probably a couple of bigger blokes and smaller blokes, but he was definitely shown me enough today to say that. Maybe he shouldn't be here. Maybe he should be
allowed to be in the squad because won't they have VFL on that weekend?
But again, that's the same thing. It's the same with Davey. Davey's the same boat, so you just don't know. But that's my 3 votes. So if I'm working that right, I've given. I reckon Desnoy might. Did he? No, he got.
So I didn't give Desnoy a vote.
No,
and
Brockenshire. Brockenshire got 5. Yep, so it'll be Brockenshire will be the recipient of the award.
And you know what's funny? Like
what's funny is Grubby never left us a voucher.
Oh, no.
That's even funnier.
I think the 3 of us just put down, I reckon, 6 out of a possible 9 names. But if you actually look at the game in that 7-goal streak for North Geelong after the 10-minute mark, there's probably another 6 names just from that section. Like, if I based it on that, then I'm going Charlie Farrell, Oscar Riccardi, Tommy Schwennerson. But I'm looking at the game 4 quarters wise, and that's such a great position for North Geelong to be at. Another controversial discussion with the Magpies was that they didn't have it. They finished 6th on the ladder last year by percentage.
Yep.
Didn't have a member in the team of the year. That is a very big discussion in those change rooms the last 6 months. But today's another example where they just didn't have a standout player. You know, there are some AFL premiership teams that only had 1 or 2 All-Australians on the bench that year because everyone else was in the top 50 in the league, but they weren't in the top 22. They all played their role. And I haven't seen Belmont yet this year. You guys have seen them twice, but I'll tell you what, that round 11 match, that is going to be massive.
Where is that at?
That is a very good question. I'm going to guess Belmont because round 18 was...
Belmont, North Geelong is at the line. Down at Belmont.
What does that ground mean for North Geelong, you reckon?
Actually, I don't know whether they... I think they've been there a few times now. I can't remember last year that... I don't go through the records like you do, Alex, but I'm not too sure what would be one of their favourite grounds to play at. I wouldn't think. But again, they've brought in some blokes now that give them that benefit now. Ben O'Brien, a little bit of height down back. Okay, so he played on Bosley for most of the day, I think. So again, Bosley, 1 goal, 1 for the day. Again, when sides are able to keep him down, then they haven't got the scoring prowess that they really need to have and fire. So, again, we looked today and saw Jay Lever, first time I've seen him play, showed signs, but, again, another bloke that might get better as the season goes on.
When they get more continuity between each other, Bosley and Lever, then they start knowing where each other lead.
And you think
midway through the season, or like round 10 or so, then they'll start being a completely different team.
Don't forget, Anarchy at some stage will obviously see Barter go back into that forward line, because what's their ruckman's name that's not playing at the moment?
Riddell?
Yes. So they've got 3 good blokes to have in that forward line, providing that they can all fit into the point system. Because obviously 48 or 48 today, and without those blokes playing, so I'm not too sure how that works with one coming back and the rest of them going out, so they mightn't be able to play all them 4. But again, you don't know whether some of these other blokes that are in there at high points might have dropped out as well. So that's something that they have to work out in time.
To the Anarchy fans listening, I just want to say it was with deep regret last week we couldn't cover the centenary match. We did drive the truck out the night before and were unable to cover it. It would have been a fantastic spectacle. In saying that, I'll ask Dale because he was here in round 1. The Anarchy side you saw go down by a goal to Corio versus the Anarchy side today against maybe one of the premiership favourites, and there's a big emphasis on that maybe still.
Yep.
Which Anarchy side was better? Like, did you think today's performance was lacking to round 1, or did you actually think today, like...
No, again, I think both games similar because they... Well, as I said, in that game there in the third quarter, they kicked 2 goals, 7, you know. And again, that makes a hell of a difference. It's just being able to score. You've got to create opportunities for yourself. But again, there were some blokes that played...